Hi, welcome to VoiceOver Startup. And I just wanted to make a quick rant. Not a rant. I don't want to call it a rant, right? But the purpose of my channel is not that I have any great wisdom. I've only been doing this for a year, right? Just over a year. And that was kind of the point of me starting this, is I kind of wanted to just share my thoughts as I'm getting into this voiceover biz, and share with you the mistakes I've made along the way, things that have gone well, and maybe if you're new to the industry, this might be helpful to you, or you might just want to tell me, hey, shut up, whatever. But just a few thoughts. You know, I am a student, right? That's just the way I'm geared. I like to learn about new things. I like to, if I'm going to jump into something, I like to jump in with both feet and learn as much as I can. So what I've been doing over the last year, obviously, is I've been watching a lot of YouTube channels, listening to a lot of pros, things that they do, listening to their tips, those sorts of things. And I think that's a wonderful thing to do. But I'm going to say this. You got to ignore a lot of these voiceover industry dinosaurs. And what do I mean by dinosaurs? I mean the people that have been doing it for years, that are jaded, that don't like the way the playing field has changed over the last few years. And let me give you a perfect example. And I'm not going to mention names, but maybe you've seen some of these people. There's one lady that always is ranting about the cheap sites, you know, the Fivers, the Upworks, those types of things. And she has nothing good to say, says you should never, you know, do cheap voiceovers and all of this stuff. And I finally she's so negative. I just had to quit listening to it, because I have a different approach. When you're learning a craft, what you want to do is you want to work in that craft. So for a brand new person getting into voiceovers, you would be foolish not to take opportunities to do work, even if it's cheap, right? How do you get good at your craft without practicing? These voiceover people, and keep in mind, most of them are trying to sell you something, right? What they expect you to do is not go on Fiverr, not go on these, you know, cheap freelancer sites, and instead spend $2,000 with them to take their classes, and you know, all of this. They're selling you something, right? I think what you need to do as a new voiceover is you get out on Fiverr and you do $5 voiceover jobs, right? Where else are you going to practice and make a little money doing it? Okay. So it's just amazes me that these people saying, oh, don't do that. Don't give yourself away cheap. You're ruining the industry, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Now, should you be making $5 for a voiceover a year from now? Absolutely not. I don't do them for $5 anymore. But you know what? I did at the beginning. And then you know what happens? Those people come back, and then you start making a little more and charging a little more. And I'm not an expert, guys. I've been doing this for 13 months now. I make $1,000 a month from Fiverr. Okay. Now, to listen to these experts, I shouldn't be doing that. I'm selling myself too cheap, blah, blah, blah. It's better for you to not do anything and not make any money, okay, or make, you know, get one $200 job a year than to make some good money on Fiverr. That, to them, I don't understand that mentality. If you want to get good at your craft, you got to do your craft. And if that means you start with Fiverr, start with Fiverr. I've had some good jobs off Fiverr. I've had audiobooks where I've made over $1,000 from Fiverr. Okay, I had one from Upwork back in December, $1,000 job. Okay, I've had a lot of $5 jobs and $10 jobs. In fact, every single day I'll get random $10 jobs where the experts are too good to do those. I'll do a $10 job that takes me 2 minutes to do. Absolutely, I'll do those. And guess what? Those people usually come back. So it's very frustrating to me because I'm trying to get motivated and get better at what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And then you hear these elites tell you shouldn't be using Fiverr or Upwork or whatever the site is. Ignore that, right? Would I like to make $200,000 a year doing voiceovers? Absolutely I would, and maybe I will someday. But until then, this is not my livelihood, okay? I'm not supporting my family doing voiceovers. But if I can make $1,000 a month doing something I enjoy for an hour or two a day, why not? And why would you deny yourself the opportunity and the experience of working at your craft? I don't understand that mentality. So let me throw that out there. I'm not going to badmouth Fiverr. I'm making $1,000 a month on Fiverr. And it's been great. And it's getting better every week. I get more and more jobs that come my way. Yet if I were to just listen to the naysayers, the experts who tell you to stay away from these sites, I would have missed out on the money, but more importantly, the experience. I'm better at my craft now than I was a year ago. And that's because I've got more practice and experience. Simple as that. So I'm a fan of using Fiverr. Now, I'm not telling you you've got to, do 500 words for $5. I'm not going to do that, right? But at the same time, making $5 is better than making nothing. And that's how you get started. That's how you get good at your craft is by actually doing it. So, you know what? Turn off those negative voiceover experts, right? And to be honest, some of those experts, when you hear their work, they're really not any better than any of us, right? They were in the right place at the right time. They got into the industry at a time when they lucked in. And here's the thing, and it's not just in voiceovers, but in anything. People are territorial and protective, right? I've used this analogy before, right? People that manufactured horse-drawn carriages, they were very threatened by the automobile because it changed the playing field. It changed the competition. It changed the game on them. And that's what has happened over the last few years with the advent of the internet, really. Changed the way everyone does business. And it took this voiceover industry away from you got to be in New York or LA or Chicago to do it. And it's made it possible for someone sitting in the middle of nowhere to buy good equipment and have the ability to upload files and do all this stuff we couldn't do 30 years ago. It's brought the costs down. If I'm on the other side, right? If I am a company and I want to hire a voiceover artist, back in the day, I'd have to pay $20,000 to have someone come in and do a campaign for me or whatever it is. I'm just throwing numbers out. And I can get someone to do it for a few $100s. Absolutely, I'm going to do it for a few $100. Is that bad? Is that bad for the voiceover industry? Well, it's bad for the dinosaurs that were in the industry and they were in their little clique. But for the rest of us, it's a good thing. So anyways, that's my rant. When you hear these people dissing Fiverr, oh, here's another funny thing too. They're out bad-mouthing Fiverr, and then you can go on Fiverr and see those folks with gigs up on Fiverr. So take it with a grain of salt. I say get on Fiverr, get some gigs up there, start doing some gigs. Do some $5 jobs, do some $10 jobs. That's how you get better, is by practicing and doing it and doing it and doing it. Okay? So that's my rant for today. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.